Hello everybody, and welcome to this 30-minute yoga class for beginners. This is a Vinyasa flow class, and we'll be going through some of the basic yoga poses and showing how they all fit together. During this class, we ask that you keep in mind that we want you to stay safe, so if any poses don't work for you or you feel any pain, please feel free to come out of the poses, rest, and join when you're ready to get back with us. So you can start seated, and it's nice if you have a blanket, a pillow, or even a yoga block here that you can sit on to raise the hips up. And once you find a nice comfortable seat, you can cross your legs if that feels okay, bringing the hands on the knees. And in yoga, we like to breathe through the nose if it's possible. So if your nose is clear and you can easily breathe through your nose, try giving that a shot. If you need to breathe through the mouth, that's totally fine. Now bring your hands to your heart center. And let's take a couple nice, smooth, deep breaths. On the inhales, filling up. On the exhales, releasing the breath out. We'll try to keep this smooth breath throughout the class, and I'll try to remind you. And on your next inhale, reach the arms out wide, spreading through the fingers, having a nice big wingspan here. Keeping that smooth breath if you can. And on your next exhale, bring the right hand to the ground as the left hand reaches up to the sky. This is a side bend on the left side, so take big breaths into the left side, trying to fill up the rib cage. Gently opening up through that left shoulder if you can. And then on your next inhale, come back up, spread your arms as wide as you can. And as you exhale, bring the left hand down to the ground, the right hand reaches high. Taking big breaths into the right side, trying to fill up the rib cage. And gently opening up through the right shoulder. And if none of this makes sense to you or something doesn't make sense through class, don't worry, it's yoga. Just move and breathe. Coming back up, reaching the arms out wide. And then the hands come down. And we'll transition into tabletop position. So that's on your hands and knees. So your hands come right under your shoulders. Your knees are right under your hips. And we'll start out by doing cat-cow. So as you inhale, the belly drops, you gaze forward. And as you exhale, the head drops and you round through the spine. We move with our breath. On the inhale, belly drops, look forward. Exhale, drop the head and round through the spine. Do 2 more of these. We call them cat-cows. Try to move with your breath. Last one. As you inhale, look forward, slight squeeze of the shoulder blades as the belly drops. As you exhale, push through the hands as you round the spine and drop the head. Now we come back into our tabletop position, breathing nice and smooth. And on our next inhale, we're going to reach the right leg behind us. So reach your right foot like you can stand on the wall behind you. And you can stay here, or if you like, you can reach that left hand forward. So you're reaching the right foot back, the left hand forward. Feeling your strong back here holding you up and breathing smoothly. As you exhale, round the spine and touch your knee to your elbow. And as you inhale, extend again the right foot back, the left hand forward. And then we're coming back into our tabletop shape, the right knee down, the left hand down. Let's do the other side. As we inhale, the left leg reaches back. And you can stay here if you like, Or if you like, you reach that right hand forward and breathing smoothly, feeling the strength of the back body holding you in this position. And then on your next exhale, smoothly round and touch your knee to your elbow. And then inhale, reach in both directions again, right hand forward, left foot back. And then back down to tabletop pose. And now we're coming into one of our resting poses called child's pose. And in child's pose, the big toes come to touch, the knees come really wide about the edges of your mat, and the torso comes down with the head resting on the mat if you can. The arms reach forward towards the front of the mat. The hands are on the mat, and you're just resting here, releasing the head down, relaxing the forehead on the mat. And try to release some tension if you're holding your jaw or muscles in your face. Try to relax here in this child's pose. Breathing smoothly. Keeping that nice smooth breath. As you inhale, you're going to come back up to your tabletop shape. Bringing the knees right under the hips, hands right under the shoulders. You're tucking your toes here, pushing through all your fingers, and then on your exhale, you shift the hips up and back to a downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, you can have a little bend in the knees. You let your head rest down, so don't hold the neck. And the heels of your feet are directed towards the ground. They may not touch the ground, that's fine, but they're directed that way. Don't be up on your toes. Try to let your heels come down. On your next inhale, bend the knees a lot, look between the hands. And then as you exhale, walk your feet up to the front of the mat. You're in a forward fold at the front of the mat. You can have a bend in the knees, but let the torso just drape down, releasing the head and the neck. Again, if there's any tension in your jaw, let it go. On your next inhale, you're doing a halfway lift. So you come up halfway, the hands come to the shins, and you slightly squeeze the shoulder blades together on your back. So you have a strong back in this halfway lift. And then as you exhale, you fold forward again, releasing the head down. Next inhale, come all the way up to standing, sweeping the hands high. The palms touch, and then as you exhale, the hands come to heart center. And here we'll take a couple big breaths, inhaling, filling all the way up with air, and exhaling, releasing it all out. Next inhale, the hands sweep high, the palms touch above your head. As you exhale, you fold forward, a slight bend in the knees. On your next inhale, you come up halfway, lift the hands to the shins. And then the hands come down, plant the hands, step back into your plank pose here. And the knees come down and plank. Your hands are still strong, pushing through all your fingers. And then as you exhale, as slowly as you can, come all the way down to your belly. Belly's down on the mat, forehead down. Next inhale, you peel the head and the shoulders off the mat. This is baby cobra. Slightly squeeze the shoulder blades together on the back. Your back is nice and strong here, holding your head that's hovering off the ground. And then as you exhale, the head comes down back to the mat. Now tuck your toes, keep your knees on the ground. As you inhale, push up. And as you exhale, the hips shift back into downward facing dog. And if at any time you need to bring the knees down and come into child's pose and down dog, that is totally fine. Again, keeping safety in mind and staying in tune with your body. Now, next inhale, have a big bend in the knees, look between the hands. And then as you exhale, walk to the front of the mat. You're in that forward fold, letting the head drop. Next inhale, halfway lift, the hands to the shins. Next exhale, release down, forward fold. As you inhale, come all the way up to standing, reach those hands high. Palms come to touch, and then as you exhale, the hands come down to heart center. And take a nice big breath here, filling up to the top and releasing everything out. Going through a sun salutation A, which is one of the sequences in yoga. As we inhale, the hands rise high. As you exhale, you fold forward. Next inhale, come up halfway lift, hands to the shins, slight squeeze of the shoulder blades. As you exhale, the hands plant down, stepping back into your plank and bringing your knees down. Taking a big inhale here. And as you exhale, come all the way down to your belly with control, letting the head rest on the mat. Push the tops of the feet into the ground. As you inhale, baby cobra, peel the head off the ground. As you exhale, let it come back down. Now tuck those toes. Keep the knees down as you inhale to push up and exhale to downward facing dog. In yoga, we move with our breath. That's why I'm giving these breath cues. So do your best to move with your breath. But if it's not working out, just move as best you can and try to keep your breath nice and smooth. Next, inhale, bend the knees, look between the hands. And as you exhale, walk to the front of the mat in your forward folds. Let the head down. Inhale, halfway lift, the hands to the shins. Exhale, forward fold, release the head. Now we're having a big bend in the knees here, like you're sitting back in a chair. And on your inhale, you sweep the hands up. So the torso comes up, the hands reach up to the sky and a little forward. And you sit the hips down in your chair pose. So it's like you're sitting in an invisible chair. A lot of the weight is in your heels, not your toes. You try to be straight in your arms here. It's also translated to awkward pose, so don't be afraid if it feels a little tough. As you exhale, you fold forward. Then you inhale halfway up, and then plant the hands and step your right foot to the back of the mat. Your right knee comes down. Push through the top of the back foot, and then reach the hands up high in your low lunge. The hands reach high to the sky here. You're reaching the hands up, but make sure the shoulders come down away from the ears. Next, exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes, come up off the back knee. You're stepping back into plank, knees come down. Next exhale, you come all the way down to your belly with control, nice and smooth. And then as you inhale, peel off the ground. This is baby cobra. And as you exhale, the forehead comes down. Tucking the toes, keeping the knees on the ground. Inhale to push up. And exhale to downward facing dog. Bending through the knees, look between the hands, and then walk to the front of your mat in your forward fold. Let the head drop. Next inhale, you come up halfway lift, hands to the shins, slight squeeze of the shoulder blades. Exhale, folding down. Now have that big bend in the knees again, sitting back in your chair and sweeping the arms up. So the torso is up, the arms reach high to the sky and a little forward. Weight is in the heels, sitting back in your chair pose or awkward pose. Trying to breathe smooth in this difficult shape. And on your next exhale, fold forward, release the head down. Inhale halfway up, the hands come to the shins. And then you plant the hands, step the left foot to the back of the mat, the left knee drops. Untuck the back toes, push the top of the back foot into the mat. And then the hands reach high to the sky in our low lunge on the other side. Reach the hands high to the sky, but keep the shoulders away from the ears. Next, exhale, the hands come down to frame the front foot. Come onto the back toes, back knee comes off the ground, and then we step that back foot forward into a forward fold at the front of the mat, letting the head drop. You inhale, halfway lift, and you exhale to fold down. Next, inhale, come all the way up to standing. The hands sweep high, palms touch above the head. And as you exhale, the hands come through the heart and take a nice, smooth, deep breath here. Your next inhale, hands sweep up, reach them high. As you exhale, you fold forward, hinging at the hips, releasing the head. Next, inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, strong, flat back. As you exhale, the hands come down, step the right foot to the back of the mat, this time keeping the back knee off the ground. This is called runner's lunge. It's like a sprinter at the starting blocks, ready to start. And you should feel a stretch on the right front hip here. On your next inhale, the hands sweep up, the torso rises. So now this is our high lunge or crescent lunge. Again, feeling that stretch in the front of the right hip. And you don't have to bend that much in the front knee if you don't like to, if it doesn't feel good. Now on your next exhale, you drop the back heel down, and we're coming into warrior two. So the front knee stays bent. The left hand reaches to the front of the mat. The right hand reaches to the back of the mat. And this is warrior two. You look over your front fingertips here. Push through the outside edge of that back foot. Now flip through the front palm. And as you inhale, we reverse our warrior by reaching the front hand high. The back hand gently comes down on the back leg, just resting there, not pushing. As you exhale, you come back to your warrior two. Left hand reaching forward, right hand back. And then as you exhale, both hands come down to frame the front foot. Come up onto the back toes, back in runner's lunge. We step back into our plank pose, knees come down. As you exhale, you come all the way down to your belly. Inhale to peel off the ground. This is baby cobra, slight squeeze of the shoulder blades. Exhale, the forehead comes down. Tuck the toes, keep the knees on the ground as you push up. As you exhale, downward facing dog, the hips shift back. Next, inhale, bend through the knees, look between the hands. As you exhale, walk to the front of the mat in your forward fold, drop the head. Next, inhale, halfway lift. Next, exhale, fold down. Hands plant, step the left foot to the back of the mat. Keep the left knee off the ground here. This is runner's lunge again, finding that stretch in the front of the left hip. And keeping the legs just how they are. On the next inhale, the torso comes up, the hands reach high. We're in high lunge. We're doing the same sequence just on the other side here. So reach those hands high, but keep the shoulders away from the ears. And you want to keep that front knee right over the ankle if you can. Now the back heel drops down, coming into warrior two. The right hand reaches forward, the left hand back. Gaze over your front fingertips and push down into the outside edge of the back foot. Keeping the front knee right over the ankle. It likes to cave in, but try to keep it over the ankle. Now flip the front palm. As you inhale, reach the front hand high. This is reversing your warrior. Your back hand gently comes on the back leg. Don't push, just rest it. On your next exhale, come back to warrior two. Right hand reaching forward, left hand back. And then both hands come down to frame that front foot. Come up onto the back toes and runner's lunge. And this time we're stepping forward into our fold. At the front of the mat, release the head down. You inhale halfway up. And you exhale to fold down. Try to keep that breath smooth. Next inhale, come all the way up to standing. The hands reach towards the sky. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now stay at the front of your mats. I'm going to face the camera, but you do not need to change positions on your mat. Just stay there. Standing nice and tall at the front of your mat, your hands at heart center. Now let the hands come down, coming into a standing balance pose, tree pose. So come up onto the right tippy toes. And then bring the bottom of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. It should be on the ankle here. Your hands come to heart center. And then you're going to slide that right foot up, maybe to the inside of the left calf, or maybe all the way up to the inside of the right thigh. But the right knee comes out, so you're opening up through the right hip. This is tree pose. And if you like, you can inhale, reaching your hands high, making this a nice big tree with big branches. Trying to stay balanced. It helps if you stare at one point that is not moving and try to keep your breath smooth. And as you exhale, the hands can come back to the heart. And you're gently going to slide that right foot down the leg, all the way down to the mat. And great job. You've done side one. Let's do side two now. So releasing the hands down, coming up onto the left tippy toes. Bottom of the left foot comes to the inside of the right leg, right by the ankle. And then you're going to slide that left foot up, maybe to the inside of the right calf, or maybe up to the inside of the right thigh. Sometimes our pants are a little slippery, so it's hard to hold there. So just try not to put your foot on the inside of your knee. We want to keep that knee nice and safe. The left hip is open, the left knee is out to the side. And if you would like to reach your hands high in your tree pose, this is the time. Make those branches big. Staring at one point that's not moving, trying your best to balance. If you fall, it's totally fine. Just come back into the pose. If you fall in your balance, it means you're getting better. So don't be afraid to fall. Now the hands come to heart center. And you're going to release that left foot down the leg, nice and smooth if you can, all the way down to the ground. And then we're back standing. 2 feet feel nice to be on the ground, no? All right, on your next inhale, sweep the hands high to the sky. And as you exhale, you fold forward here, last time. Next inhale, halfway lift. And then you're going to plant the hands and you're going to step back into your downward facing dog. Sometimes in yoga we use Sanskrit terms, and downward facing dog is called Adho Mukha Svanasana. You may hear teachers call it that. Good luck remembering it. It comes with time, don't worry. And bring the knees down. And untuck the toes, and we're coming to a nice, easy seated position. So come sitting down with your feet flat on the mat and your knees bent. Now reach your arms forward with the palms facing each other. And this is boat pose, so you can stay with your feet down, or if you would like to bring your feet off the ground, that's another version of boat pose. If you would like to take the full expression, you straighten your legs here and do your best to keep your breath smooth. We won't be here for long. It's a tough core exercise. Try to breathe smooth just a little longer. And then bend the knees, the feet come down. Straighten through the legs here. And then we're bringing our legs wide. So as wide as you'd like to bring your legs, we're going to be folding forward here. So maybe wider than your mat. And then as you exhale, you're going to fold forward, bringing the torso down towards the ground. And if you would like to grab your shins or calves here with your hands and help pull you down into the fold, that can feel nice. Whatever you do, keep that smooth breath. We're almost to the end of class, so stick with it if you can. Just try to stay focused, try to keep the smooth breath. Now bringing the hands down to the mat, and then as you inhale, bring the torso up. The legs come back in. They're still stretched out, but now they're at the top of the mat. And now we're coming into boat pose for one more round. Feet flat on the ground, knees bent, arms reach forward. And if you would like, you bring the feet off the ground, knees bent. If you would like the full expression, straighten through the legs. And try to stay open in the heart here. So try not to slouch with your shoulders. Try to stay nice and broad in the collarbones. Not here for much longer. And bend through those knees. Feet come flat on the ground. Now keep the arms reaching forward. And then as you exhale, as slowly as you can, come all the way down to your back. The feet stay right where they are. And you can scoot a little further forward. We're coming into bridge pose. And traditionally, you should be able to touch your heels with your fingers. But if that doesn't feel good, you can walk your feet forward a bit. Your arms come alongside as they push into the ground. And then as you inhale, the hips come up. You push through the feet to raise your hips a little higher. This is bridge pose. Keep the hips up, push through the feet here. And as you exhale, gently bring the hips down. Take a nice smooth breath resting on your back. And we're going to do one more round of this. So keep those arms alongside you, pushing the hands into the ground. And then you push through the feet to raise the hips up in your bridge pose. You have a strong back here. Keep it nice and strong. Keep pushing through the feet to raise the hips. And then as you exhale, gently bring the hips down, nice and slow. Take your time. And once your entire back is on the ground, bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Take some nice breaths. Make this feel good. You can even rock side to side if you like, massaging out the back just a bit. And coming into happy baby. So the bottoms of the feet face the sky or ceiling. And you grab either the backs of the knees or the bottoms of the feet, and you gently pull the legs down so the knees are nice and bent here. This is a nice stretch in the back of the legs. Maybe you even feel it in the hips. And it's called happy baby for a reason, so you can be joyful in this pose and maybe rock side to side or stay right where you are. Gently pulling the legs down towards the ground, getting a nice stretch here. As you exhale, you release the feet and they come down. The feet are flat on the ground with the knees bent. And now we bring the bottoms of the feet together and let the knees come wide here. So the knees come out to the sides. The bottoms of the feet are together and the arms come along your sides. This is called butterfly, or the Sanskrit is Supta Baddha Konasana. Here we just want to release and relax. And you can either stay here or you come into our final resting pose called Shavasana. And to do that, you just straighten through the legs and you let the feet gently fall out to the sides. And this is the relaxation pose. So you really relax your whole back body, including the back of your head, into the ground. You don't hold anything here. And you relax in your final resting pose, taking some nice smooth breaths. And we want to make sure here we don't have any tension in the jaw or the face. So if you have any tension there, just release. Now, starting to wiggle your fingers and toes and turning those into wrist circles and maybe ankle circles. Then bringing your knees up into your chest, give yourself a squeeze, congratulate yourself for making it to the end. And then roll onto your left side. Use your left arm as a pillow for your head. Take a breath here. And then use your top arm to help bring you back up to that seated position. I like to sit on a blanket, a pillow, or a block to raise my hips. Makes it nice and comfortable here. You can even sit on 2 blankets, 2 blocks. And then we bring our hands to heart center here. And we're going to take 3 big breaths. As you inhale, filling all the way up. As you exhale, release out the mouth. 2 more times, big inhales filling up, and then exhale to release the tension. Last time, inhale the biggest breath yet, and exhale, release it all out. And now we bow our heads and either say out loud or to yourself, Namaste. Thank you so much for finishing the class. Congratulations for making it through. It's wonderful to have you practice yoga, this 30-minute sequence. And we hope that you feel good. You got a little bit of a workout and you feel fresh. And we hope to see you next time. So thank you so much and have yourself a wonderful day. Namaste.